Hello? 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 Well, is it good down there? Yes, now it's better. Hi, hi everyone. I'm of PugliaTechs. PugliaTech covering different of the technology business. Today to cover a new topic we never covered before. Today we have Simone from Predict that is very. We're very happy to have him to present a bit the story of Predict and the fact they're hosting us for. So please, your presentation now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. I'm really pleased to be with you here tonight. And I'd like by welcoming you here in our headquarters in Bari and by thanking you for taking the time for joining us. Thank you. I would also like to extend huge thanks and a warm welcome to PugliaTechs and to Marco Pennelli, without whom this event would not have been possible. So thank you. Well, you must know that Marco is not only a person we work with, but it is also a friend. So we're very happy in hosting this event. We're very grateful and happy. I'm Simone Messina. I'm the project manager here in Predict. I work in a project called Mistral, but I will talk to you about it in a couple of minutes. So before we start, I would really like to give you a brief overview and a small introduction on our company to give you an idea on who we are, what we do, and why we're doing it, obviously. So Predict is an innovative Italian company that is specialized in medical field. We were born in 2008 as proud distributor of general, and as you can see, our core business relies on selling ultrasound systems and X-ray systems. Year after year, we started to build an expertise on this kind of device and in this kind of environment. So this gave us the opportunity to starting another branch of business, the maintenance and the technical support this kind of device. But this was not enough because we realized that in order to be meaningful in people's life and in patient journey and in people life, in patient life itself, we needed some game changer solutions, some innovative solution. So this is why when we decided to build our own product. We can divide our production into two different branches. One is breath analysis, from which I belong, and the other one is the digital healthcare ecosystems. Shortly, just to give you an idea, breath analysis and Mistral, and specifically, is a technology that allows collection and analysis of breath. Why are we doing this? Because we try to correlate the molecules inside the breath to certain kind of physiological or pathological states. On the other hand, we have the old digital healthcare ecosystems that is based on two different products, two main products. One is called AFL, that is an AI platform that integrates both software, our own software, and a humanoid robot in order to assist and to entertain specifically elders people, children, or people in need. The other product we have developed is a platform that enables real-time communication and knowledge sharing between remote user in a clinical environment. So between physician to physician or to clinician. This opens up large number of scenarios. The most important one for us is the ability to perform a remote ultrasound exam by means of coupling an ultrasound probe with augmented reality. So that's in brief what we do and who we are. So again, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the talks and thank you.
Thank you very much, Simone. Well, again, thanks for hosting us, and you're here anyway until the end of the event, so we definitely can know more about Predict. So just super quick introduction about PugliaTechs for those who don't know us very well. Just a sketch of the situation in Puglia that in general in Italy, people are moving away, moving abroad. This is actually a big issue, not just for Puglia, but for all the other regions. This is something that is not just about fighting this outflow people moving, but the reality is that because we live in this kind of global world where you can actually work everywhere, we think that this outflow of people moving abroad is something that is going to change. And in order to change, you need communities. You don't need, a big announcement. You need real communities that they're building communities locally. That's why we exist. Um, so again, I was in Silicon Valley in November last year. Um, Silicon Valley is a mindset, is not a location. We can build the same dynamics here. Of course, you might say there's not the same cash here, but you can. The reality is you can get the cash everywhere, but you can still have the same mindset as well here in Puglia. Um, who are our, let's say, our targets for what we do for the association? Tech enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, corporate, startup founders, and of course, anyone that is involved in innovation. It could be interesting for them to join our initiative, our events, and our community. Um, so obviously the goal is to create growth, because without growth there is nothing. So we need to support companies to grow and to build new companies. But at the same time, we think that now is the right time to actually build a proper renaissance of tech in Puglia, because again, as I mentioned before, from Puglia you can actually connect to any other countries in the globe, and you can work everywhere connected to have clients everywhere. The technology boundaries are very different compared to 10 years ago. And of course, it's a grassroots tech community. It's a bottom-up community. We're not trying to have a top-down approach. We're trying to initiate initiatives locally to push people, come to events, create connection, create businesses. Um, just a bit of our growth story. So we started roughly at the end of 2024 with the first events. We formalized the association in the second half of 2025. We've been pretty much everywhere: big corporates, small startups, universities. Apulia Digital is not too far, and now as well Predict. So we're trying to be everywhere, not just in Puglia, not just in Bari, but also we went to Lecce. We're going to do one in Brindisi and one in Taranto in July. Obviously, the online presence is fundamental for us. So we have our website. We're trying to grow our LinkedIn group, also the Telegram group, and many other initiatives. Like we have an hackathon in May, which is going to be a big one in the middle of May. This slide is just to let you know that if you scan the code, we are trying to get people involved in the community, so to know a little bit more about you in order to facilitate your success. So if you have time, it's the same of when you go to the website and you can see the registration. It's free. It's just a way for us to know who is involved in the events and in the community in general. So today the topic is very interesting because we never really covered this topic. So life science, biotech, healthcare. We maybe touch maybe one on the healthcare topic, but that's something definitely new for us. But it's very important because among the major tech verticals, definitely this is one of the major. And I'm glad to have a blend of different profiles today to have very short talks. Technicals, more business, also like relationship between UK and Italy and Puglia. So we have Nicola Di Fido, which is a member of the Biotechnology Italiani. Grazia Marzovilla, system engineer at Predict here, and Lucrezia Chiaparino, the market development manager, Italian Chamber of Commerce UK, as well here. So we're going to see a bit of different, again, technical, business, and also relationship between Italy, Puglia and UK, which is one of the major life science, healthcare, tech hub globally. And then we have the usual spotlight. So the way our events are structured, typically is a short talk, 10 to 15 minutes, and then there are spotlights. So very short stories about new businesses, new products, new initiative, new projects. So we're going to have Alessandro Cestaro from Node Elixir IT and Alessandro Pagano, researcher at Informatics from Università di Bari. So I guess we can start with the first talk. So I invite Nicola to come to the stage. Great, thank you. And I give you, let me move to your slides. Should be, is it this okay. So the stage is yours, you have 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nicola Di Fidio. I'm an assistant professor of chemistry and biotechnology at University of Bari, in particular at the Department of Biosciences, Biotechnology and Environment. And I'm also a member of the Italian Association Biotechnology Italiani. And it's a great pleasure for me to be here today. First of all, I would like to thank all the organizers, all the members of the organizing committee of this event, and thank you for this invitation. And I'm a biotechnologist, and today, as a member of our association, I would like to share with you some numbers, some trends, some dynamics of the biotech market and the biotech sector in Italy. Just some preliminary information before sharing with you some numbers and data. We started our analysis from different research questions, and then we perform a quantitative analysis by analyzing the main biotech companies, micro, small, medium, and large companies and enterprises operating in Italy, of course, by classifying them based on the ATECO codes. And then we also use some literature analysis and some research, some field research, in particular by using some direct interviews and case studies of our startup and innovative enterprises. Of course, we also use some data elaboration from other centers. In particular, we used the data from a recent report entitled Analisi informatizzata delle aziende italiane, published last year. And a first key message that I would like to share with you is that the biotech market in Italy is growing, okay? From all points of view. The biotech market is growing in terms of the numbers of companies, in terms of turnover, in terms of employees, and personal costs. On some minutes, I will share with you some specific information related to the main sector of the biotech in Italy. So the medical biotech sector, the industrial environmental sector, the agri-food sector, and for each market, I will show you some data and some information. But in all the cases, the trend is quite positive. Of course, we have some differences in terms of turnover, for example, among the red biotech, white biotech, green biotech. Just a spotlight on the Italian biotech companies related to the distribution by size category. Around 70% of our companies, of our biotech companies, are characterized by a very small size. So we usually speak about micro enterprises, micro companies. Around 10% of our biotech enterprises are characterized by a medium size, while around 15% are characterized by a small size. But in all the cases, we can observe an improvement of the number of these companies. Of course, we have a non-homogeneous distribution of the biotech companies in Italy. Most of them, around 50% of our biotech companies, have their official office in the northern Italy. Okay, in particular Lombardy, Veneto, Tuscany, Emilia-Romagna, and so on. In the following slide, I would like to emphasize some numbers, some data related to each biotech sector. I would like to start from the agri-food chain because it is the main sector in Italy in terms of number of companies, but not in terms of turnover, because the first position is covered by the medical sector. Related to the agro-food and animal companies, biotech companies, we can say that they are characterized by a micro or small size for around 90% of these companies, and they are characterized by a uniform distribution between the north and the south of Italy. Tuscany, Veneto, Lombardy, and Puglia are the regions characterized by the highest number of biotech companies, while the best regions in terms of turnover are the Veneto, Lombardy, and Emilia-Romagna. Regarding the white biotech sector, and this is my sector because I'm a researcher in the field of industrial biotech, we can say that this sector cover around 1/3 of the entire size of the market, the biotech market in Italy, but most of the companies are focused on the R&D activities. Okay, around 70% of these companies are specialized, for example, in process innovation, okay, or new approaches for environmental application and, for example, for the reduction of pollution and so on. Also, in this case, we speak about micro and small companies, okay? And the main regions in terms of dominance of biotech, industrial biotech, are Lombardy, again, and followed by Lazio, Campania, and Emilia-Romagna. Regarding the biomedical and healthcare sector, of course, the scenario is quite different. In this case, we speak about medium and large enterprises, okay? But in terms of numbers of companies, this sector cover less than 10% of the biotech market in Italy. But the main feature of this market is characterized by the turnover. So the turnover of biomedical and healthcare biotech in Italy is the highest, compared, of course, with the other biotech sector. What about the startups? Of course, when we speak about startups, we refer to some companies, or enterprises characterized by some specific features. In particular, they are characterized by some activities in the field of innovation, research, technology transfer, and so on. But also, they are characterized by the presence of some PhD students, some PhD graduates, and master's degree holders. And in most of the cases, some startups are characterized by one or more registered patents. Okay, and regarding the geographical distribution of biotech startup, we can say that also in this case most of them are located in the northern Italy. Okay, Also, the turnover is characterized by a huge amount in the north of Italy for around 50%, with around 1/3 of the turnover in the center of Italy, and at least around 15% in the south of Italy. What about the future of biotech? Of course, we used some data deriving from different sources. Some of this information were collected thanks to the work of Federchimica, also Biotech, and other association of biotech companies. So as Biotecnologi Italiani, we try to perform a systematic revision of all information, of all the reports available up to now in our database. And what about the future trends? What about the future? Of course, in the following slides, I will try to focus some innovation from my point of view and from the point of view of our association, of course, in each sector of biotech. So I will share with you some trends in the red biotech, white biotech, and green biotech. About the medical biotech, the future is represented by the precision medicine. For example, the gene therapy, the cell therapy, the tissue engineering, for example, is associated to some enabling technologies such as AI, quantum computing, big data analysis, bioinformatics, and so on. Regarding the industrial biotechnologies, and in particular the sector of bio-based solutions, usually we speak around some innovative application in the food sector, in the industrial sector, in the agriculture sector, and also in the energy and waste field. Of course, for each of these field, we can analyze different approaches, but I don't want to go deep for each of them. I want just to give you an overview of these innovation trends. And another important topic is the precision fermentation, okay? Especially in the field of industrial biotech, thanks to the fermentation processes, we are able to produce some strategic compounds starting from renewable resources, for example, thanks to the power of microorganisms. So in our bioreactor, for example, we can start from sugars, just to give you an example, sugars deriving from plants, lignocellulosic biomass, wastes, organic wastes, and so on. And starting from these different renewable materials, we are able to produce different compounds. Of course, strategic platform chemicals that can be used in different sectors, pharmaceutical sector, chemical sector, energy sector, and so on. Of course, the bioconversion sector is related to the packaging sector, the textile industry, and so on. What are the main challenges of the biotech sector, of our sector? First of all, the research and the innovation. So this is the reason why for our association it is very important to connect universities, research centers, startups, companies, institutions, okay, in order to favor cross-contaminations among all these stakeholders and to favor synergy, collaborations, and the development of new ideas and facilities and technologies. Another important challenge is represented by the regulatory framework, especially in the field of energy, for example, in the field of industrial biotech, environmental sector. We need some specific rules at the Italian level, but also at the European level, okay? Of course, the last, but probably the most important aspect is the access to the capital. So the importance of investment from private companies, from institutions, and so on. So what is the role of our association? What is the role of Biotechnology Italiani? This is my last slide. Our main activities are related to three main topics. First of all, to promote the identity of our professional figure, the biotechnologist, okay? So we think to our association as the home of all the biotechnologists operating in Italy, but also in Europe. We offer some services, and we try to create a lot of opportunities, because in our association we don't have only academics. In our association we have also biotech companies, small, micro, medium, and some large companies. So we are able to represent all the main stakeholders. We have also some public and private research centers, and of course universities and other stakeholders such as Cluster Spring and so on. So we think that the main strategy to create new opportunities is to boost, to favor the networking among all these stakeholders. I finished my presentation, and of course, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Nicola. It was very interesting to know more about the association and in general the landscape. So I think because we have many speakers, so for the Q&A, I guess we leave everything at the end of the event.
Okay.
But thanks again for your
welcome.
presentation.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move to the next speaker. Okay, 1 second. So now we have on stage Grazia from Predict. So Grazia, please come to the stage. And now we're going to cover a more, I guess, technical angle. Grazia. A more technical angle to, from, the technical aspect to proper business solution. So Grazia, the stage is yours.
Thank you, but it is not.
Oh, sorry. It's, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is not my mistake. 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. You have 15 minutes, and if you see me doing 2-3 minutes, it means it's the last 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I can try.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Grazia Marzovilla, and I'm a system engineer here at Predict. Today, I would like to talk you about technology transfer and specifically how we apply it in our company. We, as my colleague Simone already introduced, Predict operate in the healthcare sector, especially in medical imaging, diagnostic technologies, and the development of innovative solutions. But before talking about technology transfers, let me briefly highlight a few aspects of our company that will help explain how we approach it. We work closely with the university, with the research centers, which are not just partners, but active contributors in our development, validation, and clinical testing. So the question is, what do we mean when we talk about technology transfer? Let me show you. Often, technology transfer is described as a linear process where research produces knowledge, industry developed products, and the market uses them. In this model, clinicians are just end users and feedback delayed or limited. It falls in the healthcare sector because two main causes. Clinicians are not passive users, but co-creators, and product development is not linear, but iterative. So the real goal for us is to start to see technology transfer like a circular ecosystem where universities, industry, and research continuously interactive. This allows us to create solutions that are scientifically solid, clinically relevant, and scalable. Turning an idea into a product, into a market-ready product, requires several steps. Scientific discovery, co-development, industrialization, and clinical deployment. So to understand this idea, we have to think that we are all together interconnected. So so far I have described the concept in general, but let me now show you how this works in practice through one of our technologies, Mistral. In particular, Mistral is an innovative breath analysis-based technology that enables early, non-invasive diagnosis and metabolic monitoring. Mistral started with a collaboration with the University of Bari. At the beginning, it followed a more traditional process, from academic research to a physical device. At that stage, breath collection had several limitations. It was not standardized, it was mostly manual, and it was not suitable for clinical use. Through collaboration with the University of Bari and industry, we transformed the idea into a real product. We standardized protocols, we engineered a certified medical device, we built a data infrastructure. So then, after this initial phase, the project evolved significantly. The development of Mistral did not stop at the industrialization. At Predict, we built a dedicated laboratory for breath analysis. We started multiple clinical and research trials, generating a large amount of structured data. At this point, something important started. The direction of the technology the trajectory of the technology transfer changed. Instead of moving only from one direction, the process became circular. And the key question became, how can we transform this data into something useful for clinical practice? This is where artificial intelligence comes in, and we apply AI models to analyze the data, identify patterns, and support interpretation. This means that the technology transfer now happens at multiple levels: technology, data, skills, and also for education. In fact, today we also provide turnkey laboratories and training, enabling hospital and research centers to use the system. But technology transfer does not always follow a same direction. For example, let me briefly introduce another solution developed by Predict, like OptipNuva. In this case, the project starts from clinical needs. OptipNuva is a system designed to support ultrasound examination using artificial intelligence. So we developed a solution that combines hardware and deep learning to support the operator in real time. In this case, technology transfer starts from clinical data and not from research like Mistral. Another example is another direction where, in fact, recently we started working with a quantum computer developed by SpinQ, designed for education. In this case, the goal is not clinical application, but training and knowledge transfer. If we look, in fact, all these three examples together, we can see three different directions of technology transfer, from research to product, like in Mistral, from clinical needs to technology, like OptipNuva, and from advanced technologies to education, like in case of quantum computer. So, to conclude, to stay into 3 minutes, at Predict, we do not just transfer technology, We build an ecosystem and we transform research into a real impact for the patients. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Grazia. Did you mute him? Did you mute him?
No.
Okay. Again, thank you very much. It was very interesting to know a little bit more how to start a product in the field. Now we move to Lucrezia's presentation, which is yes, yeah. Please come to the stage. So as you said before, start. Yes, you can use this. You can unmute in a second. Yes. So yeah, I mean, Lucrezia will cover a little bit more to understand how to create the bridge between Italy and UK. I've been living in the UK 10 years, so I know very well that UK does these things very, very well. So it's very important to have Lucrezia today, because if you want to create a bridge, I think it's the right time and moment to chat with Lucrezia later on. But first, let's hear her story to understand how it works to create this bridge. Thank you very much. And 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna do my usual sign.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Thank you for the invitation and to have me here in this fantastic panel. And I'm Lucrezia Chiapparino, and I'm Market Development Manager for the Italian Chamber of Commerce for the UK. And the Chamber is a private organization with a central office in London, but we work under the control of MIMIT, that is the Ministero of Made in Italy of Italy. So we are part and we collaborate with the whole Sistema Italia that is present in the UK, so with the Italian Embassy, the Consulate, and all each agencia. And our goal is support business and the development of business between Italy and the UK. How we work and what we do. We provide specific solution and services for business. They could be tailor-made services and assistant, and to create a bridge between the two markets. And we create and promote business through events, collaboration, networking opportunities, and providing partner searches or create a B2B moment between companies and Italian companies and UK buyer. And we provide also marketing and communication solution. So our goal is facilitate business between Italy and the UK market, and attract investment from Italy to UK and from UK to Italy, so in both directions. We work as an association, so companies could join us through the membership, but we don't work just in this way. So companies could approach us for, just a spot moment and the spot opportunities, or we can create a long-term relation with companies, and they could join us with the three different level of membership, and it depends on just not for the discount that I would like to have on our services, but for also opportunities and visibility on the market. Today we are here for, give you some tips about why it's important invest in the UK and why it's important to create a bridge between Italy and the UK, specifically in this technical sector of the topic of today, so healthcare and life science. It's important to give you some idea about the value and the dimension of the market. Important is the destination of the UK for the foreign direct investment. Why UK is so important? First of all, we can say that UK is a very business-friendly environment for this sector, because there is a facilitation to do business, there is a strong legal system, and UK has an important position, strategical position, because it's a good bridge between North America, Europe, and Asia. Of course, there are universities and research centers and skilled workforce. Reading what UK government says, we can see that the key attractive sectors in the UK markets are fintech and of course finance, because UK and specifically London and Greater London is the biggest hub for, of course, finance services, tech and artificial intelligence, life science, energy and green transition, and creative industries. So just to give you one idea about the dimension of the UK market in terms of value, we can analyze 4 important sectors like life sciences, biotech, healthcare, and tech transfer. If we consider data, we can see that, and we can say that UK market is a very important place where invest and where destinate capital, not just Italian investment to the UK market, but UK investors in Italy. So the reason is because the government in the UK consider healthcare and life science one of the 8 strategic growth sectors, and they defined the United Kingdom as Europe's leading hub for life science investment. Finally, why? And we can say that there are there commercial opportunities from Italy to the UK? Yes, of course, in terms of value of the market, for the expenditure in healthcare, for the dimension in billion about ecosystem for life science. There is a strong demand, of course, in advanced therapies and medical technology and so on. And UK is a European hub for life science investment, and thanks the connection that universities, central research, and the NHS could generate to create the growth. We can ask the same question if we say, are there investment attraction opportunities from the UK to Italy? Italy is a very important destination for the UK, especially for the pharmaceutical industry. That is the first sector for destination in terms of export from Italy to the UK, and for, of course, clinical research, for high-tech facilities, and for the attention of Italian government in that sectors. So we can say finally that United Kingdom is an important ecosystem for research, for innovation, and for investment, but also Italy is not just an exporter, but is an important platform for partnership, production, capital attraction in that sector. So thank you for your attention, and I hope that the Chamber could support all the companies in their process for investment and for the exchange, business exchange between Italy and the UK. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucrezia, for the presentation. Yeah, you were very fast, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we move to, sorry, we don't have the Q&A because there are a lot of speakers today, but again, if someone has questions, I guess that all the speakers are going to stay after the talk, so there's definitely room for networking later on. Now we move to the spotlights part. All right. So please welcome to the stage Alessandro Pagano from Università di Bari. As I said, the spotlights are shorter talks, 4-5 minutes, getting like we cover like products, new companies, new projects, and this is exactly the case. And in this case, we're gonna know more about how to detect faster chronic pain issues. So please, Ale, you have the stage now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm Alessandro Pagano. I'm an assistant professor at University of Bari in Department of Computer Science. And today I want to talk to you about how TEL Laboratory, the Technology Enhanced Learning Lab, can help some doctors or practitioners in the hospitals to predict or to better diagnose some chronic disease like fibromyalgia. We are involved as a laboratory in e-learning, e-health, AI for digital training, Industry 4.0 and inclusion, but now I want to focus about e-health. What we have done is an assessment-oriented XR technology that can treat the VR as a measurement tool, not just therapy. We create a framework to detect some biomarkers and to help doctors to conclude something. So just to go on, because I have not so much time, I want to present the first project that is the neural maze, VR-based screening that we test with 49 female participants, because the fibromyalgia, as many of you probably know, is a pathology that affects mainly female. And we create 5 VR mini games with the Meta Quest 3 headset. And we create 5 mini games. One is find a card to detect cognitive and hyperacusis. We create light sequence for photophobia and memory. We create obstacle course for balance and verticality, and we create illusory strength for pain purposes and for pain response, and the riddle for fibrofog. So we detect all those kind of data, and we measure those data with self-report questionnaire, but is not enough for us. We create an automatic HMD telemetry inside the VR headset, and we create also a structured observer diary from the doctors. So we create a lot of scientific articles about this. We have 2 preprints right now, and we are waiting for we hope acceptation of that. And we have one key result of this project with a prediction or diagnosis of about right precision about 0.99%. So it's very high for us. Then we have the problem of medical gaslighting. Many times people that feel pain, chronic pain, can be treated like crazy people because they have not an evidence of pain. They have not evidence of inflammatory status. So sometimes, for example, in the case of endometriosis, doctors says you are affected by this kind of pathology just for guessing it. So we are trying to create another game. In this case, it is a game set, is a tool that we call the Neurostress VR Lab that assess 4 biomarkers. First of all, we assess the heart rate. Then we assess the papillometry, and then the kinematics, so the motor sensor, and we assess the way the people can move during the game, and then an AAC cap. that can create some, that can use some sensors to assess the peak alpha frequencies, so the brain signature. We create this protocol. It's about 12 minutes game. The first is the baseline. The Zen room is a very minimalistic environment with soft light, silence, and you have to stand still and breathe naturally. It measures the heart rate, the baseline heart rate, and then the expected outcomes at the end. Then we have the stressor, so the reactor room, where you have cold lights, rising electric hum, 3D stop test, you hint the color, ignore the word, so it's very stressful for the brain. So we try to measure the vagal withdrawal, the PDR pupil peak, the pelvic motor jerk. So with this biomarker, we can assess very precisely if the subject is affected by chronic pain, by chronic disease. 1 minute, okay. And then we have the recovery, so back to Zen. I want to go fast. The standard pathway, people can report each own pain, but tomorrow with this kind of tool, we can assess symptoms with an objective measure, triangulated by the doctor's point of view, the patient point of view, and the headset point of view. Then we can use the AI and machine learning to move from signal to diagnosis, to support the doctors into the diagnosis phases. Then I can share with you the slides so you can go in deep with the data. If you want to join our research team, if you are a clinician or a specialist or an expert, if you are a researcher or of developers of VR experience, if you are in touch with some patients and associations that we can help us to make some experimentation and in vivo test, you're welcome to collaborate. So thank you for your attention, and feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you very much. Yeah, is mute? Yes, fantastic. So now we move to the last presentation. Where is it? Yes. So now we have another Alessandro. This time is Alessandro Cestaro. And Elixir is another spotlight, so it's a short talk. I guess the takeaway is, if you want to build whatever you want to build in private and public, they should talk to you. Okay, fantastic. So now does it work?
Yeah, it seems so.
Yeah. Okay. You have the stage and 5 minutes.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Okay. Hi to everyone. I'm Alessandro Cestaro. I'm the node coordinator of Elixir. Elixir Italy is the Italian node of the European distributed research infrastructure for life science. So it's not a project, it's not a product, it's not a company, it's a research infrastructure. Okay? So it means where we provide services and resources for all researchers. Okay, thank you. For public and private researchers on life science. Elixir Italy. Okay. Elixir Italy provides service, all this stuff through six technological platforms. We have the data platform, in which we have the database of genes, genomics, protein sequencing, structures, and many, many more. Then we have the tools platform that develop the software to analyze and exploit the data. Okay. The compute platform. I don't know, I have the pointer. Okay. No way. Oh, no, sorry. No. The compute platform that has the computational power and the.
Does it work now? Like this? Yeah.
No, a pointer, but no problem. Okay, the computational power and the storage for the data and the tools. Then we have the interoperability platform that in which people developed standards, best practices, and tools to make data in the data integration and make the different kind of data works together. And then we have the omics platform, that is the platform from data production, in which we have the big instrumentations for DNA sequencing, DNA, RNA sequencing, mass spectrometry from proteomics, metabolomics, and lipidomics. And then, last but not least, the training platform, in which we have that provides the training courses in bioinformatics. The headquarters of Elixir Italy is in Bari. Okay, and here in Bari we will find the main facilities for the compute platform and the omics platform. About compute, the main center is the RECANS Computational Center, okay, HIPC, that is run together by the National Institute of Nuclear Physics, the University of Bari, and the CNR. Okay, and RECAS provide a wide range of services from cloud computing to for example, virtual machines, and of course all the expertise and the support is needed to run such technologies. About the omics platform in Bari is run by a collaboration between the BBA that we with heard before, and the IBIOM Institute of CNR. And here you will find the cutting edge technologies for RNA sequencing, like single cell and spatial transcriptomics, genomics, and metabolomics. Okay. From organizational point of view, Elixir Italy is a joint research unit of 32 members, coordinated by the CNR, and the head of node, means the director, is the Professor Graziano Pesole of the University of Bari. Then we have two deputy head of nodes, that is Francesca De Leo, that was supposed to be here today, but you have me instead, and the Professor Silvio Tosato of the University of Padua, and me as node coordinator. To know more about Elixir, but especially to have the full catalog of services and resources of the infrastructure, please visit our brand new website. And to stay updated with our initiative, there is our fantastic newsletter. We are also on the social media, Blue Sky and LinkedIn. And thank you for PugliaTechs to have me here, and you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. Fantastic. So I think now we are done with the talk. So I just go back to the usual slide. If you haven't scanned the QR code, please do, because it's a way to know each other and to help you as well. Just, few notes. So now we have the happy hour, right? Or no, I don't know. But definitely we have some networking time for 1 hour, half an hour. And then another thing to highlight is that the 16th of May, we have a big hackathon at the Puglia Digital. So if you haven't heard about that, definitely check our website. Well, our LinkedIn, but also we is in partnership with Data Master. So there's definitely lots of news there. Yeah, that was first time that we covered this theme, so we're very happy to have more networks as well in this space. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming. So I guess we are done for today. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, guys.